Solomon Alexander. Refresh my memory. What were you on the show for last time?
I was on the show about a year ago. This week, there was a move closer here.
Yeah.
There was a protest during an MLK celebration
Right.
at Harris Stowe, and that was shut down. Thank you. That was shut down by protesters, and we talked about how maybe the MLK celebration is not quite the way that we want to. If you really want to honor MLK by shutting down a celebration honoring him, it's kind of convoluted how that came off.
A legitimate story that protesters were offended by a Martin Luther King celebration during Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
Yes. Interesting. Okay. Now, but you're here for a different reason today.
I am here for a different reason today.
What's going on?
Well, what's going on is as every St. Louisan knows, our football team is moving. And Moved, yes. I'm sorry, it's still hard to
Even though they're still practicing out at Rams Park, they're still there at Rams Park.
Yes.
They have officially moved.
I've heard a lot of negativity. It sounded a lot like a divorce. The folks didn't divorce because you left your toys on the floor, and it's been a lot of, well, maybe we didn't support the team enough, maybe if St. Louis was more of this or more of that, maybe we're not a football town, maybe we're more a baseball town. It's not really any of that. And what I really wanted to focus on, I write at the sportsmanshipguy.com, a blog for the Sports Commission, and I wanted to focus on the positives through the last 21 years with the Rams. I've had several great experiences with Rams players, and I really wanted to focus on that. So I wrote a 3-part series last week. These are the St. Louis Rams, and I focused on my experiences with Tony Banks, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Aeneas Williams, Chris Draft, and Marshall Faulk, and what they did for this area, and I thought it came out really well.
It's an interesting. First of all, we can find the blog where?
thesportsmanshipguy.com.
I think the point is well taken that over the last 20 years, the St. Louis Rams have made St. Louis a better place.
Absolutely.
Through the fabric of the community.
Yes,
and
sir.
through the good guys that have come along, whether it's the Torrey Holts and the Isaac Bruces and the Kurt Warners and the Marshall Faulks. Though they have had their issues, and they've had their Leonard Littles of the world and their Lawrence Phillips of the world. But by and large, there's no question that the Rams in the community have done great work and have helped the community through all sorts of ways.
Yes, they have. Just thinking about Tony Banks, I was 22 years old and just out of college, and I worked for Lift for Life Academy back then, and Tony used to go everywhere with the kids. Yeah, sure. I mean, we had this deal with him where I think every time he threw a touchdown, he donated $500 or $1,000 or whatever it was. But I learned back then, this is one thing that he taught me, and it's also in the piece, that the kids don't care about your money. I mean, yeah, these guys make a lot of money, and that's great, but kids care about your time and the time that you spend with them. And Tony went everywhere with us. He went to haunted houses with us. He showed up for kids' birthday parties. I mean, he was a big kid, and the kids loved him for it.
It's really interesting is that people look at Tony Banks and they say, oh, he's terrible. He wasn't a very good quarterback. But it goes much more than that, right? It's lots of times people equate the work done on the field with the work done off the field, and it's not necessarily always the same.
No, it's not. There are some people who are immensely talented players who are probably not the best people
who
off
are
the
jerks,
field.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some people who use football as a platform to do greater things, and that's actually a good segue into Chris Draft, who did that very thing. I mean, he was talented enough to play in the NFL, but knew that his calling was higher and that he could use that platform as an NFL player to affect change in whatever community he was in.
You just wanted people while the bashing's continuing, to remember the good side of the Rams.
Absolutely, to remember the good side of the Rams and to know that this is a fantastic community, and not to beat ourselves up, because I think once the Rams are officially gone, like not just gone on paper, but once they've moved out of Rams Park,
Right.
I think there will be some self-pity going on, and I don't want people to do that.
Well, what's going to hurt most is opening day next year. You're going to see Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, and some of those guys cheering on the Los Angeles Rams, and that's going to be another gut punch.
It is, and I would caution people to try not to do that. I mean, like, you didn't follow around your ex on their first date with somebody else. Try your best.
Speak
not
for yourself there, Solomon.
Try your best not to pay attention to that stuff as much as possible, because you're only going to get angry. Like, every press conference, every time you see Rampage on a stage dancing in LA or something
Well,
like that, you're just going to get
stop.
mad.
Stan Kroenke's got to stop saying we like to welcome them home, like we borrowed them for 20 years.
I know, and that kind of stuff, like I said, that kind of stuff is just going to make you angry.
Right.
So, and you know he's going to say it, so
Right.
you may want to turn the sound
You
down.
mean like the web page to sign up for tickets is welcomehomerams.com? You mean like that? Don't pay attention to that.
Yeah. Well, try not to as much as possible. I know, I'm not trying to tell everybody what to do, but as much
Right.
as you can, try not to focus on the negative.
Solomon Alexander, the website to find out the blog,
thesportsmanshipguide.com.
and that's in conjunction with the
St. Louis Sports Commission. I am their foundation director. I'm in charge of all of the youth programs and sportsmanship programs for the Sports Commission, and so it's in conjunction with them.
Do you want to say anything bad about Frank Viverito?
Absolutely not. I
Really?
actually want to say something good about him. He said you should call him.
Oh,
That's what
why should I call him? He lost the Rams.
Oh, no. I'm not putting that. No, he did not.
Frank
I'll never
Viverito is
him.
one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
He is. Frank's
is.
great.
Solomon, thanks for checking in.
All right. McGraw, thank you.
And last year we were complaining about the Martin Luther King protest. This year we're complaining about the Rams. Let's not wait a year before you come in for another bad story.
Well, hopefully we'll
Come up with something
hopefully we'll
good.
do more good ones. Yes, I will, McGraw. Thank
All
you.
right, good. 8:25 here, Big 550 KTRS.